note taker. There we go. And the AI note taker.
You know, the AI note taker, I think now it does it automatically because I don't see the prompt to start the note taking anymore.
Oh, okay.
I think I'm pretty sure that it's now just automatically done.
Well,
That would explain why
it
last
used
time.
to be a Zoom setting.
Yeah, probably, but I think I can double check
I think you're right,
now.
because that explains why the last meeting summary notes we had, the first 3 paragraphs were nothing but social conversations between us all.
Right.
So
There-
maybe you're right.
Do you want me to do a transcript?
I think there's a transcript as well, a chat form. That's all as soon as you hit recording, it records an audio, a video, audio, and a chat transcript. But those are hard to read.
Right.
But we have all of that stuff if you'd like it. But again, I think
No, I was just wondering if you wanted to save that.
save the transcripts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've saved, well, at least, you know what I do, and just to review this, I do save the video and I post it on our ACP
Okay.
YouTube channel. So that anybody can, who misses the meeting can go back and watch and hear the meeting real time. And now we save the meeting summary, AI meeting summary notes
Okay.
for those who'd rather streamline it. I mean,
Yeah,
we could
so
save the transcripts.
I just checked and now it's done automatically.
Great.
Okay.
Okay. All right, let's do this. I hereby convene the Autism Career Pathways Board of Directors meeting for January 2025. In attendance are myself, Pete Dunleavy, Macy Sitantio, Barb Kazendorf, and Michelle Cantara. We do not have a quorum at this point, so I don't think there'll be any voting on any issues today. However, we will get some routine procedural things taken care of here. I think I got everything there. So we're going to kick off starting out. We're going to try to blaze through this quickly, some of this procedural stuff. Barb, I'm going to turn it over to you for a review of action items from last week's last quarter's board meeting.
Yeah. Which is we had a wide ranging conversation, more than a formal board meeting last time. We had some great ideas that were brought forth. But I'm not sure that the action items are currently appropriate with what we're sort of migrating to in terms of mission and vision. But let me read through them just for the sake of reading through them. So I sent out a compilation of donation page suggestions so the board members could provide some feedback by about 10 days in. I did send that out. I did not get any feedback. Macy was going to update and improve the Giving Tuesday social media graphics. I don't think we got to that. Miriam was going to work with Macy on creating a Giving Tuesday fundraising campaign. I don't think we got to that. Pete, Barb, Michelle with one L, and Miriam, and actually Fazal as well, all committed to working on the 2025 business plan. We had set a date of the first week of December, but with holiday schedules, we did get to have, I think it was 3 meetings Pete will refer to. And then Macy and George were going to review and update the ACP training programs offering. So again, I'm not sure how relevant that is to our new discussion, but those were the action items from last month.
Yeah. And I think it should be, well, I don't know if we should save this for new business. I think it should be stated that there was a switch. I think one of the key points of discussion in the November meeting was a change of the vision and the mission for the organization.
Right.
And Macy was proposed making a complete change towards the target market. And I think we're holding off on that, and we're actually sticking with the business employer as a primary target market for at least the first quarter of 2025.
Great.
And that is what is sort of negating.
John
Negating that.
Comegys here,
Yeah, but I'm letting him in.
right? So,
Hi, John.
I just wanted to say, something about the, donation campaign. So I did, email all of previous donors, but they ended up not donating because of the status. They wanted to donate when their companies, are able to match their donations. So that was the problem. But we did have a $500 donation from George Gunn. So George is not here today, but that was very generous of George to donate for us.
Great. That's great.
Yeah, and hopefully the IRS will get around to fixing our status, because that's really holding us back.
So, okay, we are waiting on them.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what else we could do other than,
Okay,
It is basically, yeah, just waiting for the State Treasury Department, or excuse me, Secretary of State to go through the process of clearing our paperwork. It's just a matter of checking a box, but they're gonna get to it in their own time. They said they have anywhere between 2 to 9 months to allow them to get that back to me. So I apologize again, as I have from the beginning. This was my fault for not working closer with the individual at the time to cross all my T's and dot all my I's, and something got lost. So boy, they mean business when they mean take care of this today, or else we're going to suspend you, because it's been a long, hard process.
Absolutely.
On that note, let's get the treasurer's report out of the way, just to again, not too much new there. I do have the year-end P&L for Autism Care Pathways. We, again, with lack of capacity to fundraise, we still managed to put in about $3,600 in funds. Most of that's from grants and individuals, of course, but I think there was also a couple events that Macy put together over the year, and was managed to raise a bit of revenue from that. And again, that gets about the 3,600. And unfortunately, because of the website, a lot of money is going into, number one, the creation, the building of, and the maintenance of our current website. You see that in those first two numbers there, the 1,800 there. And I think the hosting has been the ongoing fee for that. And let's see, which gives us a total operating expense of about 7,300. And ultimately, we have a net loss last year of $3,700. Still have about just under $10,000 in the bank. So as you can see, we need to, once things are set with the state and we are a legit charity again, we can start, some serious fundraising through corporate sponsorships and that sort of thing. I do want to spotlight, we are still able to accept private contributions, but we are misclassified as a private charity, a private foundation rather than a public charity. So that's why a lot of these larger groups are hesitant to do business with us at this time. But I will let you know as soon as that comes up with lots of fanfare. Okay.
It looked
All
like
right.
Tina was trying to get online. Did she ever make it? She emailed us.
I did send her back an email. Macy, did you
Great.
say you texted her?
yes, I did text her, and I also sent her the link through email.
Gosh, I'd love to have her on board here.
Did she text one of you?
Not text, she emailed me saying she couldn't get on because of that bad link that I gave out.
Yeah, she emailed all of us, Macy.
Okay, that was a mass email. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a group email.
Just want to check and see if we have anything else from her recently. No. Okay. Okay, sorry about this delay.
That's okay. She already has the Zoom link. So if she checks her email, she should have the Zoom link for me.
Okey-doke. Okay, does anybody have any questions about the treasurer's report?
No,
Okay. Jumping on to board development governance, this is sort of an ongoing thing, but kind of got shelved for other issues over the fall. But we still do frequently receive offers or people responding to our requests for help for volunteers to help out with. And Macy, I don't know how that's going, but again, Macy could use, I could certainly use some help with that, at least reaching out and managing some of these people. But I do think we need to take a look at some of the current action items we have and see if we can get some help with that, at least administratively, if nothing else. So we will be talking to you a little bit more this meeting about individual role assignments for everybody on the board, and I'd like you to keep that in mind. We're always looking for committee chairs, somebody to take sort of the leadership position in some of these tasks, not necessarily doing it, but taking the leadership and organization of some of these volunteers, see who can help us and who can't. Anybody else have anything to contribute on that front?
Well, I do. I met with a volunteer, Amy. She's in England, but I asked her to help with creating review questions for each module for the hiring manager training. So Amy is working on that.
She's the same one who expressed interest in taking
Right.
a better community. To Great
Yeah,
Britain.
yes, we discussed a couple of possibilities of task
Yep.
for Amy to do. Amy likes to write, and also she's interested to maybe promote better community certification training for the businesses in England.
Okay.
And she said she's also interested to help with our monthly newsletter,
Got
so
it.
we can be more consistent. So
Go with
yeah.
that. Great. Okay. Any questions? If nobody has questions on that, I'm going to try to blaze through these things pretty quickly. Feel free to stop me. Website. Fazal is unable to make it today, but he was in touch with Brian Kratt over at Problem Development regarding some of the questions we had last meeting about the platform for the new business focused programs that we're going to be producing. He kind of affirmed what we knew, which that's really not his wheelhouse. He's a website designer, and what we're looking for is specifically a learning management system, a platform that actually designed for that type of event. So we're back to where we are before. We just we're gonna have to buckle down and do some research into some of the available learning programs, learning systems out there, and there's a lot of them. So we'll just have to sort of take that on our initiative ourselves, choose one. As you've seen from those of you who have reviewed Macy's courses, they're currently piggybacking on our own learning management system, which is hosted by LearnWorlds. I'm going to put my vote in for that simply because I don't have, I'm already kind of compelled to learn that one. And I'm not crazy about the idea of having to learn a different learning management system. But that's the only input I have on that. If we find something that's more appropriate for a business audience, I'd certainly be, open to looking into that as well. As far as the webpage, again, there's also the funding of it. I think one of the questions we had, and I may have answered this last meeting, but a lot of the, we're paying out $258 a month for the website, just a marketing informational website. And half of that is because of DEI compliance for the website. We have to, we're sort of compelled because of who we are to really go out of our way to do what every website should be doing, making sure it's compliant with the DEA regulations and standards. So there's a program that we pay for that evaluates our website each month, checks to see if all our pictures are captioned, if there's, whatever special circumstances are needed, that our website is in compliance with that. So we're feeling kind of compelled, a little bit stuck with that. I know we'd like to see that cost come down, and we should have discussions about that. Me and Fazal are scheduled to talk sometime in the next 2 weeks about that issue. But if anybody has any input or suggestions on that or thoughts, we'd be glad to hear them.
Pete, I want to, sorry, I can't
go
see
ahead.
everyone. Eventually we will be done paying for this website design. So at
That'll cut
that
it in
point,
half.
hopefully the monthly fee will go down. But I am glad to know that our website actually passed with good marks in terms of compliance, DEI compliance. So
Yeah, this program
at
requires
least
it.
we have that. We passed with flying colors.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to
So-
help on a couple of fronts here. Looking for a learning platform. I did a lot of that research with a couple of other nonprofits as well. So I'd be happy to help that, but help with that and understand more about learning worlds and how we might keep that and integrate that with our current website.
It
So
would
anyway,
be
I volunteer to
incorporated.
help with that.
It could only be linked to. So he said those things are really incompatible. So there would, we have an informational website that would have somewhere in there would have to be a button to join the ACP school or ACP classes. Michelle, you had something.
Yeah, well, I just had basically a question. So it sounds like you're paying off the expenses for the development and the design work of the website, and at some point, most of the expenses are going to be associated with this hosting and keeping the website in compliance with DEI requirements. But I assume there's always going to be a certain amount of maintenance and updates that have to be done. Is
Right.
that something we could get a volunteer to do, maybe from our community, someone who might want to put that on their resume?
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Up-
and I don't know how much that's currently costing you, but is that something that might lower the cost a little bit?
Yeah, because I'm not sure how much are we demanding from this website. It only has a couple of interactive features. It's got, we got, volunteer page. We've got a ask us about page, a donation page, things like that. I'm not sure we're that high a demand website that we couldn't go to somebody, as Michelle was describing. They must be out there. So that's something
And
to keep in
I
mind.
think we could find somebody.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think we could. I think we probably could. I think once we finally get to the point with this particular company and program, once we get down to just the hosting and DEI compliance fees, it is a robust website.
yeah.
And he has great experience in designing websites, especially for those who want to make money. So I I guess
So
my
if we-
point being, my real point being that I think we need to really vet carefully and not necessarily go with somebody who's willing to do this all for free or for some rock bottom prices, because I would be concerned about the quality and the integrity of any new site they would create for us. Does that make sense, Michelle?
It wouldn't be a new site. It would be adding a page, making a word change.
Okay. Okay.
Wouldn't be a new site.
Okay. Yeah, I just think that kind of wholesale change would be I feel like it would be disruptive, don't you? But point taken, I
No,
understand
it
what you're
would,
getting
it
at.
would, no, you would use the existing look and feel standards, the templates,
Yeah,
everything. And and whatever processes have been created, or,
right.
but it would just have somebody else actually make the changes.
Right, right.
Sort of a webmaster, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we,
And to further to that good point, I think we really need to focus in on our donation page in the shorter term, even though and with the understanding that we can only accept individual donations right now, I think we ought to tailor that page a little bit better.
okay.
Any
And we-
thoughts on that?
We
took a
did it
stab at
once, but
that.
we can do it again.
Yeah, we took a stab at it a month ago, and I got to remove have Brian remove the Giving Tuesday thing. But beyond that, we talked about, clarifying where these donations would go to. We added some descriptions about the programs that would benefit from their donation.
Right.
So we make a couple of changes there. But yeah, I'm all for putting these guys to work and make it, whatever we can do to
Yeah,
make the
yeah.
site look better, work better. Please, let us know, and I'll get Brian working on it, because I feel he's, yeah, he may be, we are just, underusing this site right now.
Right.
But I would like to
Right.
use that time to fine tune it. We're working on the appearance, working on the functionality. Once we get, our programs, certification programs up and running, clarifying that. But anyway, that is for the future. I think that's sort of dependent upon when we get our programs finalized. So
Right.
spend too much time on that. But I did want to say that, just share that we did make the changes we discussed at a previous meeting. Okay. Any more commentary on the website?
Well,
Mhm.
we also have the networking toolkit, small business networking, and workplace networking toolkits that I would really like to be included under resource. I think we should change the video resource to just resources. So we also now can add the logo of the New York Transit Museum into our website.
Okay. Yeah, at some point I foresee us having a testimonial page where that would go, but I think we could work that in here somehow.
Yeah.
Okay.
There are other organizations that I've done presentations or trainings before, like our downtown Redwood City Libraries.
Yeah.
I could look back and see, like I did training for Workday, for Coupa, and we could maybe see if we can add their logos into this,
Absolutely.
onto on our website.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah, not necessarily as a resource, but as clients. Let's list them all as actual clients.
Usually, yeah, they're called partners.
Right, great.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Thank you for the
Right.
clarification. You're exactly right.
All right.
So
So I agree that we need a partners page, especially if we're also going to be in the coming year looking to do corporate sponsorships and
Yeah.
some underwriting. I think that might be another great page for those as well.
Yeah, I think that could go right again. Like Macy said, take out video, just call it resources, have video page, testimonial page, partners page, et cetera, et cetera.
do and I would say a success page
Success page is another good addition. Yeah.
or whatever you want to call it, something like that.
All right, I'm going to keep speeding this up because I do want to have a conversation about the business plan. In fact, let's just do that.
Sure.
I did
Sure.
want to talk to, people about, I was hoping we have more attendees here. John, by the way, hello, thanks for making it. We have had a couple meetings since the last board meeting, a smaller contingency of the board members to discuss some of the business planning for 2025. And we did want to share with the board at large where we are. As I mentioned earlier, we did kind of clarify or redefine what our mission is going to be for 2025, as there was discussion in November about modifying the message, but we did have several discussions about who it is we can best serve, who we are in a position to serve, and what we already have in place already. We do have or have made some progress with several programs, in particular Macy's hiring manager training. So I think it was agreed amongst the participants in that meeting that Q1 should sort of be devoted to finalizing and launching, at least in a pilot form, the hiring manager training, which would target those recruiters, HR individuals, whoever is in charge of the process of hiring. And I think we also mentioned about making capable a part of that as well. Somebody else can speak to that more. Questions we had to discuss was what platform are we going to use to deliver that? Again, we just alluded to that earlier when I discussed, my preference for learner worlds, but again, we need to learn more about what would be the most appropriate platform to deliver this to a business audience. Okay. The conversation also came up about pricing for that, and Miriam was going to look into that a little bit. I haven't had a chance to talk with her and catch up on that, but we're trying to figure out pricing for both a pilot program. We would love to get some, small businesses started, taking our program out for a test drive, and that would be, of course, a reduced rate. And then pricing for the final product, deciding, what would be, appropriate ask for various sized businesses to use this platform. And I think we also had the question of, will we have tiered pricing? It would be some sort of scale depending on the client. Questions like that we need to be answered. So that's where we stand there. When would we choose to launch the pilot program? And I would refer to those who are creating the program, Macy and some others, to decide where exactly we stand with that and see if that's ready to go. And then once that is, how are we going to market that? And I think we talked at at some of the business planning meetings. A few of us had some connections who they might think would be good candidates for the pilot program. So we, marketing for that would basically just be reaching out to these individuals that we know through our network and inviting them to be a part of this pilot program. Okay, so I boiled that down as much as I could. There's a lot more to talk about there, but did anybody have anything to add to that element? I know Michelle and Barb were both at those meetings, so they can contribute.
Well, I'm wondering how realistic Q1 is, given that we're 2 weeks-ish into Q1. If the content is nearly ready to go. And it's a question of packaging and pricing and marketing. I guess I would see that there'd be a chance of making a reasonable amount of revenue in Q1. So I guess my question is, what's your goal? And how much revenue?
Watching the transcript from our last meeting, I think Miriam was sort of pitching April as far as the launch date. But I think there's a lot of work to be done between now and then. Again, all these things we just mentioned, getting up on a platform, getting our pricing put in place, getting our marketing machine in place.
All right.
So I realistically, yeah, I think we're looking more at April for the actual pilot program launch. Would you agree, Macy?
Yeah, April is certainly doable. In terms of the readiness of the content itself, I think the only thing that we wanted to add, I mean, we talked about this during the last meeting, is to just add some reflection questions at the end of each module.
Okay.
I can ask Amy, maybe give Amy a due date. I don't think that should take that long. You could even do the AI feature from the Learn Worlds, and it's very easy to plug in like 5 questions for each module. And then I guess the next thing to do is just creating infographic and deciding, how wide we want to promote the pilot. And for this particular course, it's designed to be all on demand. So for the pilot, I think if we maybe charge like, I don't know, $100 because it's all online.
Didn't
And just for the pilot.
Yeah, Macy, didn't Fazal and Pete, didn't Fazal do some look into pricing and send us a pretty well thought out summary documentation about pricing
How long ago?
recently?
Very recently? Okay.
Yeah.
No, but that was a pricing for other organ pricing from other similar organizations, but it is not
Right.
for.
That's who we should be benchmarking against, right?
But they're doing more in person, and this is all on demand, and their targeted audience is bigger companies, and this is for like small to medium-sized businesses.
Yeah, I'll have to look for that document, Barb. I don't have it.
Yeah, I'll re-forward it to you, Pete, but I just I think some benchmarking would really help us in pricing. That's all I'm suggesting.
You know, I agree. I think we have to look at what the, you know, what the market will support.
So maybe given that this is a very near-term thing, rather than doing a boil the ocean competitive analysis, I should
Right.
focus on the companies on the list and others I stumble over that have offerings that focus on neurodiverse hiring manager training.
Exactly.
And maybe, I mean, some of them might be in person, but that wouldn't be helpful for pricing, but it might be helpful for value proposition analysis.
Okay.
Okay.
And I will go back and connect with Michael, who was the manager of Pet, or is it Pet Surplus? What was that?
That's smart.
No, not PetSmart, but it's a local chain in the Bay Area, but he asked for some time off because he moved to Las Vegas. So he told me to reconnect in January actually, and he has connections with just this like pet supply stores. So that's actually an ideal size company
Okay.
to pilot this. So I'll make a note to text him. So if, I think our goal is if we could get like 10 companies to participate in the pilot, I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, they'll give us enough feedback and data to make whatever adjustments we need to do before we primary release. Okay. Let's
And I'll
see.
speak to fundraising. I mean, there's really not much we can do until all this is solidified.
Yeah.
You know, we could certainly take a stab at the graphics, I think, as Macy was saying, some infographics, but you know, we need real deliverables. We need real metrics to fundraise off this.
Yeah, and we need to be fundraising for specific programs.
Right, right.
There's a couple things wrong right now that we're hoping to get resolved, but aside from the our certification.
Yeah.
It's
We just need more specifics. I think John was smart enough to mention that the last time we met in November that we need a number of success stories. You know, the only metrics that we have currently is the size of each of our social networks. Well, that's great, but I think we need more metrics. That's all I'm suggesting.
Got it. Okay, so again, just to close this out, I did want to remind those who haven't had a chance to review our business plan, and those are fairly new. We're sticking with the same mission statement that we had last year for the time being, empowering businesses to collaborate with neurodivergent job seekers to maximize recruitment and retention advantages. Okay. And the shorter version of that is, you know, we are here to empower businesses and celebrate neurodiversity.
Yep.
Just want to put it in the books. And I do not have a final draft of the business plan. I have to work on that, but I will be presenting that to somebody in the next week or two. Not somebody, to everybody in the next week or two, with some more clarified metrics in there, some more descriptive goals and objectives as far as marketing and market analysis, cost projections, things like that. So I will ask the board to vote on that at that time. There will be no vote today on that. But again, I'm trying to, as this is a document Fazal introduced to last year, SMART goals. Some of you may be familiar with it. It's a pretty common business practice, but getting really specific and being really smart about setting out what goals your organization is going to attain. So I'm using that as a model, but I did want to just kind of post that and share that with everybody as we go through the planning process for 2025. Okay. So Barb, you touched on fundraising a little bit.
Yeah, again, I think we need to get something launched. That said, program wise, so that we have specifics we can fundraise from. For now, though, I'd like to make some suggestions to the donate page.
Please.
And maybe just get some individual donors online in addition.
Yeah, if we can
to
at least get
George.
that going up, because we still have a couple of recurring donorships coming in, and I'd like to increase that.
Yep.
And as Macy said, Macy's got a couple donors standing by waiting for us to get this problem resolved.
Yep.
So we can start taking that again. Okay.
Exactly.
All right. Let's discuss. Goes out on that, miscommunication, newsletter. All right, we already mentioned that. We got some help from Amy coming in. See. Macy, did you have anything you wanted to introduce about programs? Did you want to, anything else you wanted to update us on there?
In terms of programming, no. The New York Transit Museum course opens on Monday, and I will be working with them until summertime. So that we could think about that as a pilot for Capable.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. All right. This plan we discussed. So yeah, we will continue to meet us, the four of us, the four people who are part of that committee for business planning, and we'll keep the general board apprised of any changes that come from that. Gosh,
Michelle text something, Pete.
Pardon?
Michelle text something, a few things.
Oh, okay. Do you want to share those? Hang on.
Well, I said, yeah, so I'm going to prioritize the competitive analysis I'm doing on companies that have an ND, a neurodivergent training offering for hiring managers. Because there's a lot to focus on, and I'll just do the ND training for hiring manager ones first, because I think Pete will need those. And then the other thing is I can just lay out a straw horse timeline for what I think it might take to launch the training in April, and then people can change the dates. But it would just be something that would make things more concrete, and it might be a rallying point for us.
That sounds
Okay,
great,
okay.
Michelle. Be great to put some timelines and projections down on paper. That helps with everything.
I mean, I might
Yeah.
just put it in an Excel spreadsheet so people can
Yeah,
add
yeah.
like little points, and then it just, like, when you start to put stuff down in a list or whatever, people are like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that's not doable by then, or there's an interdependency here, so we have to do this first.
Right.
Michelle, I
That's
probably
great.
asked this before, but have you worked with Gantt charts before?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
I mean, I
I've
can
only
do
had-
that, but I mean, do people prefer that visually?
I don't know. I think we need something a little bit more concrete that's got some more definitive goals and timelines on it, and can also be shared with the group. And I've tried to make myself familiar. I can see the value of a Gantt chart, But I can also see that being sort of a pain in the butt for the group.
I mean, you
know?
could do Gantt charts in a spreadsheet
Right,
Yeah.
right.
and that could be a little bit more accessible. I don't know.
Okay, okay. But I'd be curious to work with someone who's had, some real world experience with those before. I don't have much experience with those there in my
Yeah, I
so-
mean, most of the time I had people just do time like lists and dates.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if there's if
And like
somebody-
indentations and
Yeah, it can be as simple as we need, and we can build upon it later. I think that's great.
it depends on what is most accessible to people.
And that really comes down to it. Yeah, that's what I'm learning is that I'm learning how to do all this stuff, but nobody knows what it is. It's hard to, if they don't know what it is, we have to teach them how to read it and understand the elements of it.
I mean,
But
the only thing
for
I
a
like
small
about the
organization like
Gantt
us-
charts is when you collapse it into like one line with the big fat zero, circles for the milestones. I like that.
Yeah, like I said, I can see the value in it, but yeah, to your point, can everybody else, for,
No,
we've got 11
usually.
board members and a number of volunteers, are they gonna get any benefit out of that? I don't know. But I'd be curious to see what system you have and see if we can create something similar. So
John's a fan of Gantt charts. Okay.
I'm
You
sorry.
like John likes Gantt charts?
I don't know what it is. I just
Okay.
got the spelling correct. I can go Google it later.
Okay.
I think it's like Kepner Trago. I think it's like planning your Thanksgiving dinner so that the peas are hot. And they
Yes, yes.
got
Way to
it.
put it.
It's like, what's the critical path item?
Yeah, got it.
Yep.
Okay. I don't know specifically about that, but I sure know about getting Thanksgiving dinner on the table with the ice cream cold and the hot rolls hot.
Yeah, well, because you got to invite, everybody wants to pitch in, so you got to have Aunt Sally's going to take care of the sweet potatoes.
Yeah,
So you got in
the
there.
weird shit
And-
that feeds into it, so it all comes out right.
Yeah, that is the question I got is how did you make everything come out at the same time? I'm like, what? That's the point.
Yeah.
What Kepner Trago or apparently Gantt charts will do for you. So yeah, I'm for it. I don't know what it is, but I'm for it. I mean, I'll find out what it is.
Yeah, again, could be a very good tool, but if used properly. Where am I? Again, I could just show you real briefly what I've worked on. Me and Barb sort of took a stab at this. So basically just kind of puts things in graphical format here. Gives you a time, a usable timeline. For instance, I'm trying to reinstate our nonprofit status. So there are a number of steps I had to take with that. And I list those out here. Some of them are dependent upon other things. All right. So I can't do the one item until I can't work with the state until I'm done with the IRS, the federals, the Fed. And so they sort of creates a timeline for you. You can delegate these to certain people, and it sets up what the predecessors are. We've got to you can't bake the rolls until the turkey's out of the oven. Might be one predecessor, thing like that.
Thank you for
Okay.
Thank you.
So that gives you a brief idea of what that is, and it takes some work to map all this stuff out. It's good work because it really does sort of force us to think realistically. What are we going to do? Well, can we really get this done? And is it worth outsourcing things to somebody else if they can't even start it until this thing is done? So it's a good tool, but as I said, it takes some learning to use it for a whole organization. So me and Barb have been tinkering with it. That's one method. I'd be curious to see what Michelle comes up with. And
Yeah, and I mean,
there.
for me, the launch plan for the hiring manager training would be like a small chunk of this.
Correct.
Right. So, right, you've already done some of it.
I did my toe in the water here. I've set up a couple things here, just like, Macy completed a draft of the course. That's 100%. We're not quite 100% there. I was hoping to hear from Tina Bobadilla, an educator, on what we can do to modify that course, but anyway, you can see, certain things can't happen until other things happen. So,
Well, maybe I can take that chunk out and version it or something. I don't know.
okay.
I'll play with
Again,
it.
it takes work to do this. If you have a more straightforward way, I'd be curious to see what you come up with when you're done with that, if that's okay.
Okay.
And maybe it's compatible with this, who knows? Okay. But again, if that's something we can adopt, this can simplify internal communications and coordinate some of these projects, that'd be great. Okay. Okay, coming up in the hour here, does anybody have any new business to introduce? Anybody got any questions, concerns about anything we've discussed up till now?
No.
Okay. All right.
Maybe one.
Yeah, John.
I went to the Pathways for Autism meeting, and Alex Buckles said very clearly that understanding autism was a lot harder than he had thought, and they were actively pursuing. They needed people who were autistic to talk to them. Now, I don't know if they got any money.
can address that.
Yeah, I
The opposite.
haven't been to their the meetings
So
at all because I just don't have the bandwidth. I also feel like in terms of exploring collaboration, it wasn't going anywhere. So
that might have,
yeah,
and that's why I brought it up. I meant to call you, but I've been busy as hell.
yeah. No,
And
I really feel like autistic voices were not seriously considered. So
I will
yeah.
ask again the next time I see him. But I really needed to talk to you, and I've got some stuff that has nothing to do with ACP,
Mhm.
but I would like to update you, except I promised my wife I'd go for a walk with her. So,
So your wife wins. Just go for
Oh,
a
yeah.
walk. You can call me later.
Hands down.
okay.
It's
All
okay.
right, no more new business. Okay, reminder, we are meeting next on looks like Wednesday, March 12th. Will be our next board meeting. We'll skip February, and I will get a meeting invite out here and shortly. And I will start to figure out, number one, how to get the correct link in there. I'm not sure I had a link in there. I don't know why it was declared invalid, but I'll work on that, and I will work on getting some reminders out to people too. I'll see if I can set it up so that there's a, like a 24-hour reminder and a 1-hour reminder, maybe, just to let people know about the meetings. Hopefully that'll help and not clog up your email.
I request reminders on what the heck we're supposed to be working on.
Yes.
And that's
exactly what we're hoping to get calendarized or
Yeah.
in these organizational charts. So great point, John. Excellent point.
Thank you.
Or even if
Oh,
there's a way we could put it in people's personal calendars somehow.
There's a
Yeah,
way
I had to figure out how to link everyone's calendars to ACP. And that was the original goal with getting Slack and Trello, was finding some way where we could communicate with the whole board and not just use individual emails, which get kind of tricky. Haven't really succeeded there so far, but I would like to have it set up so that, again, we can I really like the idea of Slack, of all of us being on there and all of us receiving messages, but I got to make sure everybody is getting those. Like we saw earlier today, Michelle, you had trouble accessing the folders for ACP on the Google Share folder.
And it didn't matter because then I'm like, okay, now I logged in with my ACP account.
And you're able to get in? Yeah, that's kind of the key.
No, I wasn't.
You were not, even with the ACP account.
Right. I'm like, okay, something's wrong.
Okay. Okay, well, let's take a look at that offline.
Well, and now I'm able to do it, but I
Okay,
don't know. Well, whatever.
It's good to know because I don't expect everybody to know everything that's in the share folder, but I would like to be able to share a relevant document with one of you and know that you're going to have immediate access to her, and we're not going to fumble around like this. So, yeah, that needs to be worked on.
Right.
But as much as possible, I'm trying to make everything centralized and available to all the board. I want to be as, full disclosure on everything we can. Work in progress, all I can say. All right, does anybody have any other new business?
I make a motion, we adjourn?
Okay, would anybody like to second?
Second.
Okay.
Okay, we
Joe.
are hereby
Yep.
adjourn the meeting. Thank you very much for your time. We'll talk to you, all of you, in 2 months.
All right.
Thank
Good night.
you.
Maisie, tomorrow or,
you.
or later tonight?
Tomorrow's fine.
Good.
Just give me a text.
Okay.
All right. Take
Thanks.
care. Bye.